Hi, I'm Lori Galick. Thanks for allowing me to share my perspective on the right now for organizations in the people and learning realm. First, a short admission. For a day last week, I felt defeated. Many of us have been feeling that way. Right now, progress is about resolve and resilience. It is about the belief that you have a seat at the table when the on-paper credentials say you don't, and even when they turn you away time and time again. If it weren't for that resolve and resilience, this growth adaptation model may not have happened. So now, let's get to work. On my website, lori2learn.com, I have these same images depicting where organizations are at in their AI transition. I want to spend a couple of minutes on this because it is important to talk about people, the skills, capabilities, and attributes from the right now and the future perspective. Right now, companies are primarily in one of two states, legacy or transitional. The one thing that these two states have in common is a fixed mindset. The technology is ready to go further, but the people are not. Unlocking the next stage is largely dependent on the mindset of the company. What makes a legacy company tied to that state is a combination of things. If you are a legacy company without approved use of AI or an AI strategy, you have your work cut out for you, but believe it or not, you may be in a better position than a legacy company that has approved the use of AI with or without a strategy. This is because, from what I've seen thus far, that combination is complete chaos. Regardless, you are not ready for any other move than defining skills, baseline performance, and setting the expectation that going forward you are operating with growth in mind. That's all I want to say about that. And I can have a longer conversation with organizations that find themselves in that position. The transitional state is enabled by new technology, and with this comes a need to coordinate multiple tasks to execute an established process or hit a standard production milestone. Enter the capability discussion. Capabilities represent a shift, but they mean absolutely nothing without a shift in mindset. Take a company that has established processes, defined roles, skills, and metrics, and what it took to get there. Through this process, they've identified a core set of skills to perform at the baseline. Now, they have enabled that base level performance through workflow learning solutions, which get them to the baseline faster. This brings us to the right now most organizations are faced with, and there is only one answer. Before organizations can unlock where they want to go next, they have to look inward, because the future of work depends on how the organization is anchored. If you are a legacy organization, my recommendation is a culture reset, because by now, you should have had core skills defined and performance metrics in place, and why you didn't is probably pretty telling about what else may not be happening that should be before you layer technology on top of your unstable foundation. A quick, shameless plug. There is an opportunity for a free operational framework analysis. See lori2learn.com TP program for details. For those in a transitional state, I offer a first look at my growth adaptation model to prepare you for the augmented state and beyond. The foundation of my growth adaptation model is to first anchor your enterprise to a permanent purpose and a why. Then navigate via a loose, evolving goal. Out of the blue, I used the term loose goal one day, and I thought to myself, I can't say that. That goes against the purpose of a goal, right? And I looked it up, and it is actually a thing. Who knew? Let's now have a first look at this model. Admittingly, this is raw. And this is the part where innovation meets collaboration, but I have a problem. I have been spending all my time innovating on my own, and I need others to collaborate with me on this. So please do reach out to me. I will offer that there are no experts anymore. To move things forward, we have to provide seats at the table to people that may have been filtered out before. The growth adaptation model is designed to create a purpose-driven culture of continuous learning and adaptation in an environment that is safe to grow. It scales at both a macro and micro level. And for the sake of this conversation, we'll look at it from an operational perspective. So as I mentioned, the foundation, purpose. You start on the left with what we do and why we do it, your team's purpose. Legacy HR focuses entirely on what a person does, tasks, job descriptions. I anchor my model in why we do it. Purpose is static and grounding. It gives people the safety to let their skills remain fluid. If the purpose is clear, the methods can change daily without causing panic. So moving to the right, it begins with the augmented loop. Think of this in terms of a team's work. First, there is how a team does the work, and this factors into defining the skills needed. Skills are needed to maintain minimum viable performance. And you wouldn't know the skills if you don't know the baseline performance. If baseline performance has not been defined, the system loops right back. You can't optimize chaos. This is the very state a lot of the legacy organizations are in right now. Then comes the diagnostic. When someone isn't performing, organizations really look at three things. Is it capability, will, or environment? This is a shift away from legacy finger pointing. It forces leadership to look at whether the system or the platform itself is failing the person. Now something that is not being discussed that should be, which is what I want to introduce as a future pivot from capability to evolutionary attributes. HR and learning own this from a people perspective. Systems are way ahead of us. When people perform at or above baseline, you don't just leave them alone or give them a gold star. You examine why they are winning. And here is the breakthrough. You take what traditional HR calls soft skills and elevate them to core traits, working styles, and value delivery. So for example, grit, curiosity, empathy, adaptability, speed. And then there is the evolutionary shift. This flows directly from where they fit in a nice, neat box. And you begin to ask, can they adapt for the next right now? And can they define the white space? Now look at the black box I have added here. Attributes evolve or remain part of the status quo as the future of work continues to be redefined. What this means is, if an employee's attributes don't evolve, they become part of the legacy status quo that becomes another legacy unless they are upskilled when the platform upgrades. Evolution isn't a one-time project, it is continuous. And I glazed over this next part on purpose, and I know some of you are looking at this model and asking, what happens when someone isn't hitting that baseline? Don't we just run the standard capability and will checklist? The short answer is no. Because in a volatile world, a fixed performance review is just as dangerous as a fixed resume. When you place someone into a box, you miss the opportunity to foster the exact curiosity and grit you need to find your next business white space. But redefining performance management and upskilling for an evolutionary workforce, that is a whole new realm. And that is exactly what I am going to address in my part 2 video. For right now, keep your knees bent. Let's continue discussing how to evolve the categorization of people and start enabling what they can become tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, reach out and provide your thoughts. My contact information is next.